Hi, friend. So, the other week, Jen and I were watching a little dog. Her name's Wheezy, and she's like a Wheaten Terrier. Maybe she will get in the video. Come here, Wheezy. Come here. Come here. Look, that's Wheezy. That's a little dog. Here. Yeah. And we're actually going to drop her off later. But, we went outside of our apartment to play with her, like you throw like a ball, and dogs love that kind of stuff. So she was like really going wild and had a really good time. And then on that area, on that cul-de-sac, like end of a street, there were two other dogs. One was about like a little bit bigger than her, but not much. And then there was a Saint Bernardin, like a really big dog, like huge dog. And we threw the ball, she ran after the ball, but then the huge dog started running after the ball. And she was just like going after the big dog. So that dog is like huge, right? Like it's probably double the size and at least double the weight of her. Like it was crazy. But she didn't care. She went after him because that dog took her ball, and she knew like, if you take my ball, you're not going to mess with me. I'm going to get you down. And even later on, when they were playing, the same thing happened. Like, she was, like, not having it. The big dog, like, it's not a bad dog. Like, he's a really nice dog. But he's just huge. And he, was just walking around, and she probably remembered. He took her ball away at one point, and so she, like, started, like, "Rrr." And it was crazy. But it reminded me of that whole situation with David and Goliath, right? So David, he saw injustice, right? This guy was mocking God, right? This huge giant was mocking God and messing around and whatever. And then he saw that injustice happening, almost like that little dog seeing like the injustice, that the big dog just took that ball away, which was hers. And in that case, like, that giant taking away like the honor of God, which was the God of the Israelites, and David just didn't have it. And so he went up to the giant and like, hey, it's not going to happen. You can't keep saying like bad things about my God, in a sense. Like, he's like, I'm going to fight you. And he's like, what? Are you kidding? You're like tiny little person or whatever. You're not going to have a chance at me. Like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? And David went out, picked up a bunch of stones, and he used a slingshot, and he took out this big giant, right? He was not afraid. He stood for what was right. He knew that's the right thing to do. And the giant, obviously, he loses. We all know the story. I just got reminded when I saw the dogs this morning, like how Wheezy was just like going after this huge dog. They didn't get into a David and Goliath situation where like she actually knocked him out. Like both dogs came out alive, so it's all good. But it was a crazy situation. And in that moment, I bet David just remembered, hey, he's mocking my God, like, and he was so in love with God. And the dog remembered, hey, he's stealing my ball, and she probably was so in love with that ball. And I think that's a good life lesson for all of us. We need to stand up for the truth. We need to stand up for what's right. We can't just ignore it. We can't just walk away. And we might need to stand up against giants. Things might look a lot bigger than we are. But that doesn't mean we have to lose. God's on our side, who's way bigger than any of those things. So we have to remember that. And I just want to encourage you. Take the courage like a David had. Or take the courage like that little doggy had. And stand up against those big things. Don't be afraid. Stand up for what is right. Stand up for God's heart. Because you really make a difference in that. And it's really going to bring change, and the truth will come through. So I just want to encourage you in that. You have what it takes in you to stand up against any giant. But you have to believe it. Because God's on your side. God's with you. When you fight for His kingdom, He's going to be with you. So fight those giants, whatever they are. Might be things in your life that you're struggling with, that you're fighting against, and you're like, I can never beat them. Or it might be stuff that came against your family. It might be stuff that comes against people in your neighborhood. Whatever it is, you can stand up against it. Because God's greater than you, and He can give you the victory. Remember that. Have a blessed week. Bye.